And we are back with yet another episode of R&R. It's Jamerson Ballard. I'm the host. How y'all doing? Uh, I don't even remember what day of the week it is no more. I just be going. You understand what I'm saying? I got shit to do, but I've made it a point to be here with you, and I appreciate you for making it a point to be here with me. Shout out to the Rant Gang. Shout out to the Capital Letter Club, man. We here. Um, Today's episode is brought to you in part by Kicks, the urban shoe brand brought to you by yours truly. I'll leave a link in the description so y'all can check those out. Um, Today's episode is entitled "Is Has Debt Culture Ruined Relationships?" And I know what you thinking. You probably like, nigga, you not no relationship expert. I know, nigga. I know that. Okay, I'm not no relationship expert, but I have been in relationships, plural, barely, but yes. And I before I started the show, I had like a resounding yes in my head, but then right before, because sometimes I play like devil's advocate, and I had to kind of recant my position in this whole argument. And this is like I, the second part of a three-part series installment. Um, the first part of the series was when two goofies meet, and that can be taken a few different ways. But I mean, there are hardly any fully developed human beings walking the earth. I mean, just most human beings are just like capital C's, you know. And then you meet up with another one, and that's kind of like why you see terms like my better half and shit come to play because it's flattering, but it's kind of true. But when you add things like finances, um, it makes things almost impossible to succeed. So a lot of these relationships are doomed from the beginning. And I'm not a doom and gloom kind of guy. I'm just realistically, I mean, there is no new thing under this old sun, but things can be turned up and turned down in such a way that will make it difficult to do things that were always done. And relationships were done differently earlier in American history. I mean, I used to kind of think that, and I know, I would have liked to have a guest to give me some pushback on this, but you hear things like, oh, back in the day, like shit was just rosy and great. They were not, and this is not a popular opinion. I don't think that they weren't different in a more predictable way that we were already kind of accustomed to. But that don't mean that shit was better. It just mean that shit was uh, more difficult to separate from, because you didn't see it in your face as much. And a lot of people blame social media, but I think it started way before social media came into play. And you'll hear this a lot because it's a lot of people will say that's what happened to the black family is welfare, things like that. But it started even before that, and it was like heading towards this. And I'm not going to be here being too long winded because I'm not a historian either. Although I do like history quite a bit. Shout out to the people that are certified historians. I just History repeats itself, right? So every 100 years, you'll kind of start to see similarities, and we're starting to see some come back around, and it's kind of scary because they do say history repeats itself, but that's if you don't pay attention to what's going on and how it happened and how to prevent things from going the same way again, right? But if you'll notice, in the early 1800s, like who the fuck knows about the early 1800s? I do, kind of. I'm reading Rockefeller's book right now, so it's painting a picture before electricity was popping. Oil and gas wasn't. It didn't have anything to do with vehicles yet. They was just kind of, you know, still lighting their house with kerosene and things like that in the 1880s and 90s. But in the early 1900s, things changed. They started, I think, giving people birth certificates before. They don't even think they had birth certificates. And I'm going somewhere, so just follow me, nigga. Don't get too far ahead of me and don't go to sleep. I'm just saying that they had, you know, things that happened that changed and it created this dead situation with the birth certificates is where it kind of started. We were still on the gold standard well into like I guess the 60s, I don't know, 70s maybe. But then that's when they kind of jumped off the gold standard, I think with Nixon. But they did create the Federal Reserve in like the early 1900s, right? I mean, the 1913 or something, 14, 15. I think that's when the birth certificate started. And then they had the 20s. It was called the Roaring 20s, which was probably really good right before it crashed. And that's the Great Depression in 28, 9. Um, and who knows what will have happened here financially in 2027, 8, 9. But we should probably get ready. Um, but at any rate, relationships lasted a lot longer because I think there was only one income in the house, which was you could afford stuff, on one income, but it was just one income in the house, and the ladies they reared kids and they stayed home, and they were in the dark about a lot of stuff, how things worked. You know, they didn't have jobs; they couldn't make their own money a lot of times. I mean, not in the traditional sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's still working women out there and women that did what they need to do, made clothes, sold, you know, clean houses, et cetera, et cetera. But overall, it was just mainly the man's income coming in. So that made her dependent on his level of success, right? And I think that people think that back in those days things were better. I think that it was pretty bad. It's like, oh yeah, motherfuckers got families right around the corner. People were still getting pregnant out of wedlock at early ages. I mean, not as many, or maybe it was just not as well publicized, but it was still happening. So there were still broken families, niggas living double lives. I'm not here to say that, relationships were just great back in the day. I am saying though that because of, I think it might have been, I think, okay, so World War I happened in the early 19, like the 2030s maybe, and then or World War II happened after that, or was that World War II? At any rate, World War II I think happened, or one happened, and then um, I think that brought us out of the depression. But I think two is when they they started like women started having to work, and men were away fighting, and I I just mm, they had to do more, and I kind of think that the debt culture has ruined relationships or the way that we've seen them or the way they work. And we've hit maybe a growth spurt, right? So now women are liberated. They're able to work and do what they need to do. They have more options because they're out more. They're seeing more. One lady made it a point to say that if a less attractive woman worked in a male dominated industry, she would start becoming more, she start feeling herself more, make her harder to deal with, maybe with the guy who got her because the bitch was ugly. He got her because he ugly. He ain't got no money. He got an ugly bitch that nobody want, so he could just concentrate on getting some money and not worry about nobody trying to fuck his woman. But now they done fucked all that up. You know, they fucked it all up. Now she out here on construction sites with a hard hat, and niggas is still whistling at the flat, funny looking bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, so yes, the dead culture has ruined relationships as we know it, but that opened up other types of relationships, um, different variations of relationship, and you just have to be open to the possibilities. Um, there's a lot of internet shit going on, so you have to see the internet and understand that seeing something on the internet that looks nice on the internet or maybe on paper is different than experiencing that person in real life. It's like it would be dealing with a car or a house or something that you've seen online that looked really nice. But you pull up to the crib and you see the neighborhood, surrounding neighborhood ain't shit. Or it's next to a freeway or a train station. I mean, a train track or like, you know what I'm saying? So it just like makes it way less appealing. It's like, oh, okay. Landfill down the street or, you know what I'm saying? Same thing. She looks nice, body, whatever. Pull up. She got a funky smell, And I don't even talking about just between her legs, musty, breath, hair. She smell like house smells funny. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just you have to, you have to get up on these things in person to figure out and really test drive it to see what's going on, what's to these situations because you online, you looking, you like, yeah, he want me, he DM'd you, he talking good, you know, and you see the individual, then the catfish your motherfucking ass. So it's difficult, man. I'm glad that I don't have to like navigate this terrain right now because it'd be so difficult, you know. Now you damn near have to have a kid and some stretch marks to verify that you're a real woman. That's not something I would be able to. I wouldn't like that. I prided myself on having something that was like how I was, which was free of offspring. With the whole LMNOP community situations, I I seen a Walmart baby doll post, and the baby doll was a female baby doll. It was black also. When they pulled the pants down on the baby doll, which was supposed to be a female, it had a penis. Had a penis. So relationships are attacked in a lot of different ways. I think it's spiritual. I'm not going to get too far into that because but I think that if you could ruin marriage or whatever, if you're the opposition, then nothing else can come to be. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm not against gay relationships. I mean, I'm not against gay people. I'll say, but and shout out to Dave for this one, because he put it in a way that was just like, you can't say that that's bad or that there's anti anything. It's just, this is what it is. If the world was about to end and there was a man and a woman left, they could repopulate the world together. It would be some weird stuff down the line, maybe some incestual kind of stuff that might have to go on in order for it to continue on, but it can be made to happen, as opposed to a homosexual relationship where it's either two men or two women, unless, and I don't even, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Because if it was two women, it's like, well, man, what if they were already pregnant? That means they did some straight shit before they became not straight and the world ended. So that's a scenario that doesn't really exist. You just kind of made that shit happen. But if it was two dudes, for sure, they could not repopulate the world together. And that's just plain and simple. Okay? But, that's just, you're going to want to stay tuned to the next part of this series, though. Because I really wasn't able to dive into this as much as I wanted to. And, but shout out to whoever decides to come and be a part of this next episode, because it's going to be a doozy. Y'all stay tuned. Check it out. To get into the rest of the show, right? Because, like I said, I'm not. I don't even want to think about the wavelength I was on when the relationship I was involved in wasn't doing so well. I really don't even like to even, I tried my best to just, like, that don't even, what that happened, like, nah. So, but whatever. We learned, we lived, we surpassed, and now we're here. And this segment I like to call "Is That Right?" Today's segment, "Is That Right?" Man, it almost changed the title of this episode, and I was kind of nervous at first. I was like, I don't know, will I be able to pull this off? Yeah, of course, I'll be able to pull this shit off. It's not even a question. But some dude that's in charge of FEMA is, I don't know what's going on with the dude. Dope, or what? But he thinks he's teleported, and I can't not play this. This has to be played. Y'all stay tuned for Celebrity Spotlight. I got some stuff going on in there too that you're going to, my conjecture about what's going on in there is going to be worth looking at. So, yeah, got a lot of things to cover. Let me share my screen and we can get started. Don't know about Jeopardy. Oh, geez, no. That's when, regular TV was still out. Daytime television. They still probably got that. I don't rock with it. I ain't. Let's go.
President Trump responding directly on the phone to our Andrew Kaczynski about K-Files report that Greg Phillips, who is a top Trump appointee at FEMA, Phillips oversees federal disaster response. Well, Phillips claims that he was teleported to a Waffle House. Okay. Phillips, you may remember from K-Files exclusive reporting featured out front. said this on a podcast in 2025.
We had a teleport incident, two of them. The car lifted up and took me where I was going. And I ended up at a Waffle House. Like,
Greg, what the fuck is you talking about, bro? And he's sitting there with a straight ass face too. Look at old girl's face. She looked dumb, trying to look straight. Why he say the dumb shit that he got to say?
50 miles away from where I was. It was an incredibly frightening moment to experience yourself in your car flying through the air.
As I said, he is a top Trump appointee at FEMA who oversees federal disaster response. So the president.
Why did she say it like that? Like, this motherfucker on Trump's cabinet, in charge of FEMA response. Serious shit. And he sound like he's on a fucking. Sound like he's on a hallucinogen. Sound like he's on the psychedelics, man. Hold on, man. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, too, in a second.
The President of the United States personally answers K-File's call. And he responds in part when Andrew's asking about this teleporting to a Waffle House business. Quote, it just sounds a little strange. Andrew Kaczynski is out front. So, Andrew, okay, you called Trump on his cell phone. You have a conversation about this. So,
and he wasn't wrong, by the way.
He wasn't wrong.
It does sound strange.
It does sound strange. It might be where he could have perhaps even been a little bit more effusive.
Yeah.
So what else did he say?
Okay, so I called President Trump. He picked up the phone. I explained to him that we were doing this story, and Greg Phillips, the number 3 official at FEMA in charge of all federal disaster response. I explained to him the clip that people just saw right there, where he says he teleported to a Waffle House, and President Trump seemingly was trying to make sense of what I meant, and he said, "What does teleport mean?" And I explained to him. I literally said he flew through the air 50 miles and landed near a Waffle House. I did literally stop in the middle. I'm like, this is real. This is real what I'm saying.
And he's staying on the phone with you.
Of course, yeah. He wanted to know. And then he pauses.
She's trying so hard to hold her motherfucking laugh in.
For a second after I explained it to him, and he goes, "Was he kidding?" I was like, no, he's being dead serious. He says, I know nothing about it. And he says, I don't know anything about teleporting. And I ask him again, anything you want to add? He says, no, it just sounds a little strange, but I know nothing about teleporting or him. But
they need to drug test his motherfucking ass right now. That's what they need to do. You know that shit.
I'll find out.
You fucking with that ketamine.
About it for you.
I mean, it's incredible. All right. But it is one of several extraordinary claims made by Phillips, who is a top Trump appointee at FEMA. What else?
That's right. Aaron, what really stood out to us in doing this story was this wasn't just a one-off claim. Across multiple podcast interviews over the past several years, Phillips repeatedly described what he said are supernatural experiences. Ones he said he encountered while he was medicated and undergoing treatment for cancer with a self-directed regimen of ivermectin and fenbendazole, which are drugs commonly used. They're anti-parasitic drugs.
They should not be making him hallucinate, though. Unless in conjunction with each other, they create some kind of other type of chemical.
One, he said a deceased girlfriend appeared inside his car and lifted it off the road to save him from an oncoming crash. Listen to him here.
Right. Yo, reckless driving ass. Because you on dope. Not being saved by your dead woman, bro. Your dead ex. Come on, Greg.
The girl that died came into the car with me, and she lifted me and the car up and out of the way from a truck that had slid across the road.
At this point, bro, you got to cut your motherfucking beard off talking like that, bro. You got to cut your beard off. You can't be making motherfuckers with beards look stupid because your ass got that fucking beard looking like you some wild man Jack type of motherfucker. Like, you just, I don't like it. I don't like it. If he said that shit with a smooth face, we're going to have to go into a motherfucking insane asylum or something. Keep talking like that. And what the fuck is he doing on the cabinet anyway? He needs to be drug tested and fired. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do if something happen. He start thinking about his dead girlfriend and shit, bro. I do not want a motherfucker like that in charge of who get and who don't get FEMA help.
So in another clip that we found, he described collapsing inside an Indianapolis Lowe's, then reappearing across the street in a McDonald's parking lot with little memory of how he got there. He said his phone, his health app on his phone had 15,000 steps, and he described it as something beyond a medical episode. Listen to him here.
I mean, the whole space and time thing, continuum, it fell with me. This isn't a health thing. This isn't the cancer.
Why did they keep getting her? She don't even look funny, but she's taking him so serious. And he got this like he used to coach baseball or something, bro. He just, man, get the fuck out of here.
This isn't, me. This is a spiritual thing.
And get the fuck out of here, bro. Oh, man. Come on, man.
And Aaron, he also described an encounter with he said he had with Satan while he was walking across Spain. Listen to him here.
Yeah, Satan.
Satan lied to me. He convinced me.
This
Me to pour out my water bottle to reduce my pack weight. He almost got his demonic wish and watched me die.
Your water bottle was not that much heavier than what you needed to be carrying, bro. You just gonna go down as you drink it. You know, oh man, this motherfucker, bro.
And Aaron, I think it's really important to reiterate how important of a job this is. This isn't a fringe figure. This is the number 3 official at FEMA in charge of all federal disaster response.
It's a crucial job. It's a really important job. He's a top Trump appointee. You also found that there.
Fire his ass. Fire him now before he fuck up something that he can't fix. That dumb shit. Anyway, more from the White House. And don't ask me. Don't ask me what the fuck happened again. Because they keep trying to get ceasefires with Iran, and Israel keep fucking it up. They keep fucking it up because they don't want to stop fighting, bro. And Trump is trying to wiggle his way out this fucking war. But they're not going to let him do it. They're not going to let him do it. The Strait of Hormuz is open and shut and open and shut. We opened it. They did some bullshit. Close it again. You know, they don't. It's not funny because the stock market is tripping. Gas is still high. I mean, you know, it's affecting shit. And it's not affecting us as bad as other parts of the world, probably. But at some point, we might, and I hope we don't. I really hope we don't. But it's just, anyway, on a like a lighter note, I guess, because that's just, you know, it's not retarded, but you always gotta watch who you accept help from, bro, and what you accept from the person that you. It's just because it's gonna be times where it come with too much extra shit, and it ain't working. You know, all money is not good money, but he owe. You know, Trump done took favors and they didn't got paid, and now they work for Israel. Now we work for Israel because they've accepted the bribes or the money or whatever. Not bribes as much, but it's still like, and you gotta pay up now. So that debt, credit shit, as much as I appreciate it, I really, it's not cool, man. It's not cool. No fun when the rabbit got the gun, they say, man. In other news, though, we got some other things going on in the White House. Apparently, Joe Rogan joins Trump in signing some bill that will order psychedelic drug research. That might be what old Greg was on. Some of that new shit that they just got. He got a hold of that shit early. He said his dead girlfriend picked his car up and saved him. And he teleported to McDonald's.
Will ensure that people suffering from debilitating symptoms might finally have a chance to reclaim their lives and lead a happier life.
Next week, the FDA will issue 3 national priority vouchers for serotonin 2A agonists, also known as psychedelics. Under this new program, in this administration, drugs can get approved in weeks, not a year or a year plus. This is an unmet public health need, and there are potentially promising treatments.
We have a gigantic opiate problem in this country, obviously. In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses. There's more than 5 million people that are addicted to opiates right now in this country. With 1 dose of Ibogaine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. It was literally that quick.
Joe is an amazing guy, and he wrote me a little note about this, and I had it checked out. I went to Bobby and Oz. I went to some of the people that work for you, Real Pros, and everybody came back with the same answer. You know, normally they'll come back, because this happens a lot. We have a couple of them like that where they're not sure. It's like, you know, it goes 2 ways. This thing, everybody thought it was incredible.
My bad, y'all. But yeah, that's nice, I guess, right? That they're gonna start experimenting with psychedelics to cure people from certain ailments. I mean, I really don't know where that's gonna go. I don't think that it's a bad thing. You know, I got a buddy, you've seen him on the show before. I mean, he's so pro shrooms, it's almost ridiculous. But if the shrooms, you know, or I don't know if acid can do anything to help anybody, but if the shrooms can help somebody and, you know, get off one drug or get off, you know, off meds and shit and actually cure somebody or something, that would be, but I almost kind of doubt that it's going to cure anybody, but it will be a different level of management. And that's cool, I guess, right? Right? It's worth mentioning. But yeah, because some of you motherfuckers in relationships with crazy motherfuckers, man. And I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. The bitch sit up and told you she's bipolar and you want to hit that shit. Why? Why? If the bitch fuck up and miss her pill one time, nigga, you gonna meet the other side of this bitch. And I don't know if the pussy is worth it. I'm pretty sure it's not. She's single. She might have 1 kid with one crazy motherfucker that thought it was cool to do it to her. And, you know, or him. And your ass is stuck. It's just that I don't get it. Anyway, on to other news. We have, listen, bro. I don't know how in the fuck all of these scientists go missing and nobody knew about this shit, but apparently there have been 10 or so important doctors that know shit that disappeared, and the FBI is just now realizing the shit. And that sounds dumb. And they all out of LA County. I don't know what that's about. You know, they don't got no, you know, they ain't keeping tabs on these motherfuckers. They do everything else. They know when the motherfucker about to blow a whistle and all that shit, but they don't know these motherfuckers that can do shit we need done is missing. Look, I have to commend her. She got her net game is tight. Okay? Right. This is continued. Hold on. Hold on. Am I even sharing my screen yet? I don't think I'm sharing my screen, y'all. I apologize. I'm just playing this shit. Let's run that shit back.
Investigation into 10 scientists who have gone missing or died, some under mysterious circumstances, has prompted the White House to order the FBI to investigate. Fox 11's Phil Schuman back again with the local connections some of these scientists have to SoCal.
Yeah, this is a very unusual story. A number of government agencies are looking into this. One phrase used was its, quote, raised eyebrows. Now the White House says they'll leave no stone unturned in this investigation. As you mentioned, Christine, 10 scientists involved with government.
Really like he drink a little bit of Jack Daniels and all of his cups of coffee every day.
Agencies or military.
No. Johnny Walker Red drinking ass.
Research died or have been reported missing since 2023. 3 worked at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in La Cañada, Flint Ridge near Pasadena. Michael Dowd Hicks was a researcher. He died in July 2023. Frank Maywald, a principal researcher, died in July 2024. Monica Jacinto Reza was an aerospace engineer at JPL. She vanished last June while hiking with a companion in the Angeles National Forest. Carl Grillmar was a Caltech astrophysicist, shot and killed outside his home. The questions now, were these coincidences or is it something more sinister?
These are some of the most advanced scientists, researchers in our nation, some of the most important people for a nation's national security efforts, and they all just mysteriously disappeared.
Tough questions in Washington, D.C. after at least 10 American scientists and former military officials were found dead or have suddenly vanished in the past few weeks. In some cases, the deaths remain unexplained. Others appear to be random disappearances. Some lawmakers say it has all the hallmarks of a foreign operation against the U.S.
This is too coincidental, and so we have to be investigating this. We need to have.
Why in the fuck do you look like a weasel? And I don't know if you growing a beard is going to change that. But please.
Our nation's top investigators, the FBI, and every agency looking into this matter.
A bipartisan letter now being drafted urging the FBI to look into the deaths and disappearances. On Thursday, President Trump said he's been briefed and investigators are now trying to determine if any of the cases are linked.
Pretty serious stuff, but we're going to be hopefully, I don't know, coincidence, whatever you want to call it. But some of them were very important people, and we're going to look at it.
So far, there have been no verifiable threats against the American scientific community.
I think it's still quite safe to do science in the United States, and in particular programs that might be beneficial to national security. And in fact, science is more exciting than ever now that we had a successful Artemis 2 mission.
As for President Trump, he says he's expecting to have more information in the next week and a half. So far, no confirmed links really between any of these cases, aside from what can be described in general as the sensitive nature of their work. Still, the number of people and the mysterious circumstances have obviously raised some concerns, which has now led to the FBI getting involved. But the FBI is saying, these are really local cases, will give assistance if needed.
Man, I don't know, man. I just... it looks pretty careless for them to be so careless with their people. I mean, they disappearing and shit, and they ain't all dying. They just not, around. So they could be still found. Maybe. I don't know, man. I'd be mad as fuck if I work for the government and I did something important and motherfucker kidnapped me and then ain't nobody noticed. Maybe motherfuckers need like a little life alert necklace or something. So if something go bad, they can just kind of, I don't know. I don't fucking know. But anyway, that happened. We got in the Woodlands. Let me see. Nah. Yeah. Somebody tried to kill the maker of OpenAI, man. And I didn't see exactly how that went, but let's look at that together, y'all. Let's see how that looks.
From the Woodlands is accused of trying to kill OpenAI founder Sam Altman. The FBI releasing new images showing the suspect, now identified as Daniel Moreno Gama, allegedly throwing a Molotov cocktail at Sam Altman's home in San Francisco Friday night. Investigators also say he was seen at OpenAI headquarters, where he allegedly threatened to burn down the building. Then on Monday, federal agents raided a home in the Woodlands connected to the suspect. Jason Miles was there, and he's getting reaction from neighbors.
The end of a cul-de-sac became a parking lot this morning for a number of FBI and other law enforcement vehicles conducting a search warrant related to a firebombing case 1,900 miles away.
Well, I'm a little disturbed, but I don't know that I didn't feel that we were in any kind of danger.
Neighbors tell me they first noticed
Lady, your ass wouldn't notice if you was in any kind of danger anyway. But yeah, I don't know. It probably it was because then I started thinking about like time travel and shit. Like if this motherfucker was trying to get this motherfucker, he should have got him before he developed OpenAI, before AI has been developed, not after. But anyway, he threw a Molotov cocktail at the nigga and tried to blow up his house. Bro, that is, I don't know. It seems a little passive aggressive. He should have just, shot him like Luigi did the dude that does the insurance or something, allegedly. Got you a ghost gun and popped him and got up out of there. Your ass tried to throw a motherfucking bomb and you missed, motherfucker. Ah, shit. Stop sharing the damn screen. Hold on. That was an accident, y'all. That was an accident. This is out in Houston.
activity around 10 o'clock, but never heard sirens or any loud noises.
I actually went out to walk my dogs and saw that there was stuff over there. I'm like, not my business. Went down to the end of the block, and then I noticed that the block was literally blocked.
We've learned the home raided today is linked to 20-year-old Daniel Moreno Gama, the man accused of throwing a Molotov cocktail at OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's house in San Francisco last Friday, before being arrested at OpenAI's headquarters, where he allegedly threatened to burn down the building. Moreno Gama is already in jail on local charges and faces a host of federal charges as well. Are you surprised by the potential connection?
Oh, heck yeah. In this neighborhood, it's extremely quiet. Everybody's nice and, no problems whatsoever.
A neighbor who didn't want to be identified told us the couple who lives in the house where the search warrant was served previously invited her to church, and she cannot imagine their participation in whatever may involve a family member.
They're wonderful people, and I would be shocked to know if they were involved in anything that was illegal.
Jason Miles reporting up in the Woodlands. Moreno Gama is in jail in California, facing both state and federal charges, including attempted murder and attempted arson. A man has been charged with murder after police say he killed his co-worker with a sledgehammer in a home they were renovating in the...
All right, that's all we got. But bro, I don't know what his name is. Can you grow your mustache, bro? Because your lip and your nose is kind of far apart. But I think if you had a mustache to bridge that gap, you wouldn't look so funny. Anyway, that's wild. Yeah, bro would just, unless he's like motivated by his religious beliefs or something. He got away with bombing the nigga, but then he went back to the spot, opened AI to like burn down the building, and that's how they caught him. Boy, he Hispanic, so he's like spicy white, but he's still white in their eyes. So I don't know how straight, he's 20 years old, he probably get off of the shit, but I don't know. Arson and murder, attempted murder. Anyway, man, I don't know what his lawyer fees gonna look like. That shit sound crazy. Next up is, oh man, that's okay. So that's all I got for Is That Right? Right? Yeah, that's all I got for Is That Right? Right. Next up is Celebrity Spotlight. Now, on Celebrity Spotlight today, oh my God. Celebrity Spotlight is brought to you by Debauchery, the fragrance that's out for men. Hit me up hit me up, DM me or whatever. We can. I'm getting compliments on the fragrance all the time, so y'all let me know what y'all trying to do. Anyway, okay, we're gonna start with the other shit first because this is Lester, and I don't have a lot. But okay, so apparently Cameron had one of the Rock's sons on his show. It is what it is, and I thought he got snatched up for real. I'm gonna play the video, then I'm gonna let y'all know what the play is, which is actually probably a big check, for them. Okay. His name is so crazy. I almost didn't know what the fuck was going on. All right, I got it right there at the action. So we're finna see exactly what went on. I've seen a lot of the build up before. It was way too much build up, if you ask me. But anyway.
More questions. I'm more mad at you because you keep bringing Saturday WrestleMania niggas here, and you don't bring us a Sunday WrestleMania.
Say less, Cam. I ain't got to be
talking to
here.
my producer, bro. You keep bringing Sunday. I need a Sunday WrestleMania. I don't smell what the oos is cooking, and at the end. He tripped.
Cameron laid out like he really. Okay, so there was more show after that, so that kind of let me know it was some bullshit. And then later, you hear Cameron talking about he about to pull up to WrestleMania. Da 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 da. It's a play, man. It's all staged. Wrestling is fake, so I'm pretty sure that was fake to get more promotion to WrestleMania and get us to watch it again. You know what I mean? So don't fall for the shit. But I mean, Cam, get your money. And do what you gotta do, bro. It is what it is. It's getting all kind of shit promoted, like all type of opportunities to promote different sporting events and shit. I just can't imagine how bad the WWE is doing in order for them to have to get some niggas to help themselves. I mean, to get a real nigga to watch fake wrestling, oh man. So I really am kind of ashamed that I'm even, because it's really kind of pathetic, bro. But you know, it is what it is, right? It is what it is, man. Get your bread, bro. But at any rate, that happened. But the thing that stood out the most this week, as far as like celebrities, is there's a rapper by the name of All Star JR that was mishandled by NBA Ben 10 and some other rapper that was with him, rappers. And I don't know if you know what All Star JR is. All Star JR is a rapper that started out with T Grizzly, and T Grizzly blew up, kind of left bro behind, but he's still been out here grinding. And you know, he came into a building, steakhouse or something out in Houston, and with his jury on somebody's birthday, you know, what's his name? Jay, goodness gracious, Jay Prince Jr. was there, and he got heated. They tried to steal the man's chain, and let me let the news tell y'all what happened, bro, because it's a lot, but it's been all over the news. Bro got a challenge, the Ben 10 challenge. Motherfuckers don't know if Ben 10 is he dead for real or not. I still ain't really seen exactly whether he's like gone or not. I mean, they saying that he's not paralyzed and he is alive, but Dogface saying he got a machine breathing for him. So technically he's not alive if he ain't breathing on his own. So I don't know.
At 5, we're learning more about one of the victims shot during a violent incident inside a popular restaurant in Upper Kirby.
Police say a fight escalated, ending in gunfire and leaving 2 men in critical condition. Let's get right to KPRC2's Rochelle Turner live in the newsroom. Rochelle.
Keith and Lisa, we're learning more about one of the men shot. Family members tell KPRC he is rapper NBA Ben 10. Now, he is affiliated with NBA Youngboy and the Never Broke Again collective. Now, while police have not officially confirmed his identity, his family says he is alive and recovering in the hospital. This is video of rapper NBA Ben 10. Family members say his real name is Ben Anthony Fields. The 26-year-old was shot during a violent confrontation inside this Upper Kirby restaurant called Confessions Wednesday night.
There was probably, I don't know, 20, 30 people in there and several servers and everything.
Police say a group confronted a man and tried to rob him of his chains. Investigators say that struggle lasted nearly a minute before escalating into a larger fight. Officers say the man was knocked to the ground and surrounded as multiple people joined in.
They're beating this guy pretty bad. Got him on the ground and beating him pretty good. Sometime during that part of the fight, our victim, who was originally looked like he was being majorly assaulted by several people and getting his chains ripped off, he presents a pistol. We don't know where he got it from, but he got it. Must have had it in his pants the whole time, but he got it out and started shooting randomly.
2 men were hit. One of them is believed to be NBA Ben 10, according to family members. Both were taken to the hospital and remain in critical condition. Investigators say the man who fired the gun, believed to be the robbery victim, ran from the scene and has not been identified. So at this hour, there's still lots of questions. Police say they're working to figure out exactly what led up to the shooting and are asking anyone with information to come forward. Now, the restaurant's owner tells me staff tried to break up the fight. They also confirmed surveillance cameras captured the incident, and that video has been turned over to police. Management went on to say that this was a one-time incident, and effective immediately today, they're adding a doorman and security guards and working to install signs banning weapons on the premises. Reporting.
See, you're supposed to prevent shit like that from happening first. And a lot of these people, they wait till after something happens, and then they be trying to get security and all that shit. But anyway, All Star Jr. Started a Ben 10 challenge with a shirt on that said "Unplug that bitch ass nigga." A lot of people thinking that that's too far, but the man was victimized, or they attempted to victimize the man. He fought back and won, shot the nigga, and now he supposed to, be quiet about how he, did what he did. He really just became the new Gucci man. Gucci man is giving up his little shit, and that's just, bro, gonna have to run around with the securities and all that now because, and then, you hear people saying, because he's, I guess, NBA crew is, I don't know, they acting like they want to do something to him, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, man, wow. But, it's come with it, man. It's all come with it. And, you promoting, you trying to get your brag up, get notoriety to your music because, what happened. $10,000, $20,000 Ben 10 challenge, whoever do the best Ben 10 challenge, laying on the floor playing like you dead. Or like you trying to kick and shit for your life. It's got everybody talking about it. It even got Finesse 2 times talking about the shit. He talking about how Mob Ties ain't shit. Mob Ties is involved in a motherfucking RICO right now, I think, because this is not the first time that this shit has been going on, bro. I really don't understand how Mob Ties is involved. I don't know if they got, I don't know, but Finesse is distancing himself, from Mob Ties. And Finesse, he be with Mob Ties. No, I don't. No, the fuck I don't. He said. Because he was online crying about how they greedy and shit. And now this happened. This ain't the first time that a rapper has been handled or mishandled dealing with Mob Ties. They got Takeoff things still in the air. That ain't finished yet. And then they got Duke Jewelry still in the air. That ain't finished yet. I'm hearing Jay Prince has put Jay Prince Jr. on timeout of some sort. Like he ain't helping him no more. He ain't paying for his lawyer no more. He on his own or some shit. I don't know. It might be too late, big bro. You might have to, because all y'all wrapped up in that RICO shit if that's the case. Lord forbid, but I'm glad All Star JR didn't get killed. And whether Ben 10 is alive is still kind of, there's a dude that said that he is, and he's up walking, and but they have yet to have shown. I mean, he's responding to some of his Instagram. I don't know if somebody has access to his account or what, as far as Ben 10. But they saying he's in and out. So I don't want the man to be dead. I don't wish no bad on nobody. I just because he said something about you can't go out like that. And he's like, I can't. So I hope this is over. I don't know if it is, but it might be a long ride for all artists involved. So that's just kind of what's been going on as far as that. That's all I got for Celebrity Spotlight. So that brings us to Worldview. And Worldview, there is things going on. Like I said, we got the Strait of Hormuz closed down again. But on another note, they've got let me see. Oh man. there was a robbery out. Is it Italy? Give me a second because I had it pulled up already. Give me a second, y'all. Yeah, but it was a bank heist, a big one, another big one, and all right. I'll share my screen. I found it. Take that long.
A regular Thursday morning in the southern Italian city of Naples until the crowds started to form. All eyes on the local branch of the French Credit Agricole Bank, where a brazen daytime robbery was underway. The bandits, according to local media, breaking in, taking 25 people hostage. Police rushing to the scene, smashing the window.
I don't know if they got any money. They got 25 people though, so they're trying to get the fuck out of there. That's why I crossed my timeline because of the people.
And making their way in. The sound of apparent stun grenades could be heard. Moments later, customers and staff who had been held hostage for nearly 2 hours were rescued, one by one released. No injuries, but some visibly in shock. One hostage telling Corriere della Sera, "They locked us inside a room and said, leave all the phones here." By the time police got inside, the robbers had vanished, leaving behind dozens of empty safe deposit boxes. Local media reporting that the thieves escaped through a tunnel leading to the sewers. Water company workers later seen with tools believed to have been used by the robbers. No arrests have been made and a hunt is now underway. Italy.
They got off. They got away.
Leading news agency ANSA, citing internal surveillance footage, says the robbers entered the bank with their faces covered in tights, and at least one apparently wore a mask resembling an actor's face. It also reports police found prop weapons left at the scene. How much was stolen is still unclear. Customers lined up outside the bank this morning to find out if their belongings were still safe.
Danielle joins Top Story.
They was looking for something in particular. They wasn't in there trying to get no money like that. They was looking for something in particular. So, and they got off with it. It was clever enough to get away. So, I don't know, but that's pretty much all I got for. Oh no. It's one more thing. Okay, so China has some fake lips. So I gotta show y'all the fake lips, man. China got some fake lips that they can use to my bad, hold on. To talk to people in long distance relationships, I guess. And I'm gonna let y'all see it, but my question is always, kissing the only thing they can do it? Can they um, let y'all see what this shit look like. This shit look I don't know. I don't know. It look kind of goofy, but it's only one thing I want to know. Because, I mean, you know, kissing is whatever, but that mimics a human mouth. Also, you can't suck no dick with those. I'm trying to see if you can get your dick sucked with the lips. You know what I'm saying? Do the lips do what you do? Like, you know, but it don't look like it's no hole there. So you can you just put your mouth on it and that's it. That's done. See that? It don't look like there's no space in there for nothing to go in there. It's just real lips. That ain't gonna work. But yeah, that's all I got for worldview. We got next up we got Don't Be a Weirdo. Today's Don't Be a Weirdo. We got some shit that's going on that's kind of, I don't know, it's weird to me. It's different weird, but it's weird because it's not supposed to be happening. Some dude running around punching old motherfuckers. He just socking elderly people. I don't know how bad this is, but it don't sound good at all. And it's very strange. Should not be doing this. Don't do this. He ain't being provoked or nothing. He just in San Jose.
Victims, 3 separate attacks. And in all these cases, police say there was no warning. And now San Jose police say the same suspect is responsible for all 3 of these random assaults. Our crime reporter Henry Lee is live at the San Jose Police Department now with the very latest. Henry?
Claudine, the attacks indeed came without warning or reason, but now a suspect is behind bars. 32-year-old David Jaime Martinez is now in jail, accused of a frightening series of random attacks across the city.
The San Jose Police Department has made an arrest of a
David Jaime Martinez, you're our weirdo of the week, bro. That's hands down.
Accused of a frightening series of random attacks across the city.
The San Jose
You look kind of like somebody I know. I'm gonna keep it to myself though.
Police Department has made an arrest of a suspect responsible for a series of unprovoked violent attacks.
The first incident occurred at the 24-hour fitness at McKee and North Jackson on February 23rd.
We had an elderly male victim who was exercising inside the gym when the suspect, unprovoked, approached him, punched him in the face, and continued to strike him multiple times even when he was on the ground.
The attack was...
Bro must have spray off the machine when he got off of it. Bro didn't like that shit, so he fired on him. Which I get, but it ain't, you can't do that. No, I don't know why he fired. He said it's unprovoked, but maybe the old person did do something that he didn't know he did to the nigga. Like he crossed in front of him and then say, "Excuse me," or something. I don't know. But he went off.
So severe, the man lost consciousness and was taken to a hospital. Then, about 2 weeks later, on March 8th, police say the suspect returned to the same shopping center and attacked another elderly man walking in the parking lot of Chavez Supermarket near the gym.
When the suspect, again, without any provocation, no reason.
Bro be leaving the gym juiced and feeling strong in the motherfucker, and he just got a fire on somebody. You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck could be provoking this man to this kind of action, but this should not be happening.
Approach a victim, punch him in the face.
That victim also fell to the ground, and once again, the suspect continued to attack the man while he was on the ground. The victim was taken to the hospital and stitched up. The next day, on March 9th, the suspect ended up at Concentra Urgent Care on Monterey Road near Kirtner Avenue, but that didn't stop him. Police say even while he was a patient, Martinez punched a man in the head, causing him to fall back and also lose consciousness.
Our detectives were able to positively identify the suspect, David Martinez, and successfully tie him to all the previous incidents.
On Sunday, Martinez was involved in a dispute with a relative on Giddle Court, a cul-de-sac near South Jackson and Bambi Lane.
Suspect Martinez assaulted one of his family members and brandished a machete.
Officers arrived, but he barricaded himself inside the home. Police eventually got him to come out, and he was arrested.
Bro had the machete on the family, bro. Damn, bro. You knocking out the elderly and about to cut off one of your family members' arms because you arguing with him. Lock his ass up.
The suspect was arrested on numerous counts of assault. Now, because of the sheer randomness of all this, police believe that there may be other victims who may not have come forward yet. If you believe this to be the case, contact San Jose Police.
Damn, so they put a APB out. If you've been struck by some random light-skinned dude with neck tattoos, call this hotline and we can get you justice. But yeah, that's just not cool, man. And then like the last thing I got is who got active. You know, today who got active. We got kind of a doozy for y'all, man. All right, so I don't know what happened. I just seen this. I thought it's got to be interesting because it's a man standing up for himself, but it's a black man standing up for himself against two white men, and oh man, we're not gonna be able to see all of this, but we're finna see what they say.
So why was this done to us? And all we were doing was fishing. I don't understand why people hate different. Like, when we're not different. I bleed like you bleed. I cry like you cry. I love like you love. I hate like you hate. But
explain that.
Why hate somebody for nothing is unbelievable to me. Like, and it's so easy to say like that, you know, y'all don't need to be here because you black, or you don't need to be here because you white. It's so easy to do the wrong thing instead of do the right thing. And people need to learn how to do the right thing and not the wrong thing. We need to learn how to accept the fact that there is places that don't want blacks there. There is places that don't want
Jordan Coleman and Jesse Cole, and you see their backwood hillbilly type personas. These two men, accompanied by another person, Jaden Reynolds, who was not pictured, ran up on these group of men, 3 black men, while they were fishing at 10:45 p.m. at White Oak Park in Paris, Illinois. They pulled out shotguns and told them that they didn't need to be there while yelling racial slurs. Then one of them ran to the truck, I think that was Jordan, grabbed a shotgun and fired upon the 3 black men, and then pointed to one of them and said, "I will blow your head off." I'm gonna let this news article tell you what happened next.
Justice was getting served, and my family and my friends were safe.
A Danville alderman says he and 2 others were victims of a hate crime, and now 2 men are being charged with attempted murder. Good evening. I'm Kelly Finley.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. We are getting new details in a case we've been following since it happened almost 2 weeks ago. The information came out in Edgar County Court, where brothers Jordan Coleman and Jesse Coleman made their first appearance since getting arrested. Jaden Reynolds was also arrested and will be in court next week. WCI3's Tyler Hill was also there this afternoon and is now live in Paris. Tyler, tell us what you learned.
Jennifer, I'm here where police say it all started at White Oaks Park. They say that this happened April 3rd. And today in court, the Edgar County State's Attorney's Office broke down everything that happened that night, starting at around 11. They say 3 men, including Danville Alderman Jalil Jones and his friends Tajon King and Dwayne Williams, were all fishing on the lake. The suspects pulled up in a truck. The state's attorney's office says those suspects had been drinking that night. Prosecutors say the 3 men surrounded and started to harass Jones, King, and Williams, calling them racial slurs. The victims tried to leave, but Jordan Coleman is accused of firing a shotgun into the air with his brother encouraging him. Then he's accused of pointing the gun at King, saying, quote, "I'm going to blow your head off." That's when King pulled out his legally owned handgun and fired at Jordan, hitting him 3 times. Jordan was taken to a hospital. I talked to Jones after court today to see how he was feeling with many friends and family by his side.
That's all I needed to hear. He got their ass up off of him, and that's why he's our activated individual of the week. And I have a great appreciation for that because it's just ridiculous, man. Mind your own motherfucking business, bro. Why is you worried about what this man fishing at 11 o'clock at night? You can do that shit. Get your ass on with that shit, bro. And that's all I got for today's show, man. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see y'all next time. But it's Jamerson Ballard signing off. Y'all have a wonderful evening.